Yo, Blaze,
Yo, what's good, Tone? Get in here.
you trying to burn?
You already late. You already know.
I know, brother. Light that thing up.
Okay, you trying to burn?
Hell yeah, I'm trying to burn. Light that motherfucker up.
Well, I gotta twist it first.
Yes. Do that first. And then
I'm not gonna go crazy though today, Tone. I'm just gonna roll up a standard.
Okay, I appreciate you. Thank you very much for living within your means.
It's truly funny because my standard is totally different from everyone else's apparently.
Yes, it is.
It is
on the graduate course.
Everybody just likes to burn their throat, smoking with a bad paper to herb ratio.
Or really, it's probably your thesis level smoking.
Right.
Yep.
I like to call it, like when we used to rock Call of Duty back in the day. Call of Duty plug. Here you go. I'm on like 12th level prestige when it comes to burning.
And Activision, if you don't know where to hit us up at, it's youtryingtoburn@gmail.com. We ready for that whenever you want to send it.
Right. And guess what? You trying to burn skins in the game would be real dope. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah, like some Inferno Flame type shit. What?
Right.
That shit
How
be
about
hot.
you just bust into an insurgent crib and they got a bong sitting there on the table that says you trying to burn.
What? And you blow the bong up, right? And it just like pops out like a whole plume of poison smoke and shit.
I hear that, man.
Right? But then the guy who shot it, right? It's healthy smoke for him, so he gets like a boost. Right. You feel me? So the other dude dies, but the dude who shot it gets the boost.
See,
you know?
This is stoner shit.
That's some real shit right there.
This is some stoner shit right here. That's the shit I like, though. You know? Get baked up and start talking about dumb shit.
All types of dumb shit.
I kind of want to hear from y'all. What kind of dumb shit comes up in your stoner conversations, you know? But, first, let me welcome everybody back on You Trying to Burn with Tone and Blaze. We really appreciate everybody that's been with us, tapping in every week, listening and riding with us, burning with us the whole way. This is our first season finale. We're not doing nothing crazy. We're not going to do no extravaganza. But we just wanted to give you a little recap episode, talk about some of our favorite moments. It really has been just a new journey for Tone and myself. And we just wanted to kind of attack it, see what we could get out of it, and see what y'all could get out of it. And so that's really what today is about. We're just chopping it up and talk about some of those moments. And some of the things that, the future initiatives that we got coming up. It's not over now. Trust me, this is just the beginning, people.
Yeah, man. Like, I'm definitely looking forward to, doing some interviews with some outside people, bringing them in, seeing what their journey was like, what their story's about.
Hell yeah.
How they burning, how they chilling, what are things like in their neck of the woods.
And honestly, we do have a few people lined up that have already agreed to, join us on the cast here and chop it up with us. But me and Tone, what we're doing is we're building it up a little bit more. Like you said, it's a new journey for us, and we want to build it up a little bit more before we start, diving in with special guests and whatnot. But I promise you, it is on the menu, and we do have some good things coming up. Probably at some point within season 2. What do you think, Tone?
Oh yeah, for sure. At some point, season 2 might be the end of season 2, but at some point in it,
yeah, definitely
things will happen.
I would say, definitely towards the back half. We're going to try and line some things up, in the beginning. But our main objective is to keep burning with y'all, keep, giving you content that you can throw on while you're blazing up, while you're twisting and burning, and kick it with us, We've been getting a lot of really good feedback from people, laughable moments, and I really appreciate that. And I'm sure Tone appreciates it as well, especially since he's the guy in the chair, man. It would sound like shit if you were just depending on me.
Instead of just be iPhone echo the whole time. Like, how do I get rid of that?
Like, who is this guy on the internet? He sounds like shit.
He sounds like I'm talking to him on speakerphone or something.
Today, Tone, we're going to have a little bit of this guava candy.
Ooh, I'm so looking forward to that. Yeah. You know what I would really like to incorporate maybe next season is a strain review.
Yeah.
Or a product review. Like, we just chop it up and talk about a strain and, we describe it.
I'm down.
Different flavors, different notes that we might get from it.
And you know what else would be dope? When you guys hit us up, man, let us know what strains you want us to review. We'll you know, I have access, and Tone has some access, and we got connections and friends and growers and dispensaries, and we have a lot of options relatively close by. So I would say I'm hard pressed to not be able to find a strain. If you guys could throw it out there, we're gonna start doing that. Maybe one product or strain every episode. Maybe while we're burning in the beginning, when we're burning it up, we'll do a quick review.
Yeah.
See what it's hitting for.
Yeah, we'll let you know if it's a spacey high, if it's a body high, if it's a
If
damn, I ain't getting up off this chair high.
Or if I'm hiding under my desk with anxiety, we'll let you know. We'll keep it real. I'll smoke that sativa for y'all. For the cause, for my people, I'll take that anxiety attack.
Yo, I'll take that L.
Yeah, I'll take that. I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
I made a funny with words, man. Oh, man, that was good.
Right, man. I told y'all I was going to learn them. So talk to me, Tone. What was some of your favorite parts, if you could remember off the top of your head? I know it's been up and down, right? Because while this is super fun, what we realize is that there's a lot of work. If we want this to sound right and we want people to really, be on the journey with us, it's a lot of work. A lot more work than I kind of thought in the beginning.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And the same thing was for me too when I started my record label decades ago.
Wow.
And when I saw how much work it took to make one song, I was like, wow, this really takes a lot of effort. This really takes a lot of time. This really takes a lot of skill.
That actually blows my mind a little bit, man, because, when you hear about, we both have a love for music and hip hop and multi-genre, I would say I'm eclectic. While I'm a hip hop head, I would say that I'm, in my older age, I've become a lot more eclectic. And I've watched interviews with artists like, Busta Rhymes or Eminem, and, they just sit down and put a song out. Like, I'll be back. 2 hours later, we about to drop the song. Like, that speaks to the craft, man. They're refining the craft of it because, these artists that I'm speaking of, like those two examples, and any other artist that I would feel compelled to watch an interview are people that are splashing the game or have been since the beginning, of entering the game. The fact that they got that craft mastered, and obviously, money allows you to, have the tools necessary. But for example, if you put me in a booth with all the tools necessary, I don't know what the fuck to do. I'm not gonna hit you with a track in 2 hours. You know what I mean? I might be able to put some bars together and maybe give you a few lines, but then I'm gonna need help. You know what I mean?
So I'm going to tell you the first challenge, right? When you see a Mackie board for the first time, which is the big giant board with all the channels
the knobs
and everything.
And switches.
If you could find the on switch on that thing, I'm going to give you $100. Because the on switch, they hide that shit. They're like, if you don't know how to use this, don't touch it.
Right. They're like, listen, if you don't know how to power it up, you're not trained well enough.
Correct. Yeah, you do not deserve.
You need to go back to school.
Yes, go back to training.
Right.
And when you're done with training, do an apprenticeship and then come in.
Now, I don't want to compare, our podcast to that level
like a studio.
Right, and that level of work and dedication that it takes, right? Obviously, we're not on that level, but we feel that comparison, man, because it turned into, a lot of good work and hours put in, more hours than we actually allotted to put in to make this happen, you know? But I think that, we both see the benefit of it and the joy from it, right? I have a good time doing this and getting this time to kick it with my homie, you know what I mean? And kind of step aside from the world and the politics and the bullshit and the up, the down, work, no work, holidays, family. You know what? I'm just trying to burn with Tone. Can I burn with Tone?
I'm trying to burn with you. So I feel that, man.
Well, today's strain is guava candy. It's a newer strain. I just got my hands on, and it is I would say it's a hybrid on the indica side.
Okay.
But we're gonna give it a good test right now.
Nice.
Because I haven't burned yet. Have you burned yet?
I have not burned yet.
Okay, so this podcast is gonna get loopy. We're probably gonna have to edit the whole end out. That's gonna be Tone because it's gonna sound like shit.
What we about to ask you is, are you trying to burn?
Hell yeah, brother. I'm trying to burn. Let's go.
Hit that torch.
I ain't got a torch. I got one.
Yep.
Am I trying to burn?
Just for the sound effect.
You already know. Let's go.
One of my favorite parts about this whole thing is actually when I'm doing the editing and I hear all the dumb shit that we say in between, and all of the and mess ups and stutters and all that. It has me cracking up for hours sometimes.
That's why I think we just need to eventually start going live. It's not maybe not this season, but in the coming seasons, I feel it'll be funnier. I think we'll enjoy ripping each other apart with our face palm expression, and I think that'll continue to get sharp. You know what I mean? But
for sure.
I definitely think that we might have to put together an outtake episode just for y'all. We're all burning with you, y'all are burning with us, and we're just gonna hear me and Tone be assholes. Because we thought we knew what we were doing, but we had to think again, big time. But in the end, it's still worth it because we're here, present.
And it's fun, man.
Right, and I'm having fun.
And it's really been more than just fun, right? I would say it's been a good journey, right? To get to know each other a little bit more,
right?
To kind of get a little background on each other, a little background on, the bud that we're smoking, the strains, where they come from, and plus how we live with these things, right? Like how we interact with them. What's our friends and family like? Thing. Yeah, man.
That's
it's
the real shit right there, man. Because being two voices on the internet, Tone and Blaze, we're two living, breathing human beings, and this is a major part of our everyday culture, part of our life, and having to incorporate that, right, so that we are living with it. Like you said, we're not hiding from our significant others to go burn, and we're not, going outside and taking a quick puff. Like, this is part of our life, man. This is the fuck we do. You know what I mean?
This is how it is every day.
Right. That's the culture. I think the average person. I think there's a stigma, right, with people that talk about stoners and I used to be once upon a time I used to be in the life insurance business, right?
I remember.
And the life insurance business, they want to ask if you smoke cannabis, right? They won't deny you for smoking cannabis. But if you tell them you smoke cannabis daily, they look at it like a drug addict or an alcoholic. Like, sure, you could drink a couple drinks a week, but if you get drunk every day, you're an alcoholic. Mm-hmm. When we both know that smoking cannabis or using cannabis in some form on a daily basis is incomparable to being an alcoholic who's drunk every day of the week. It's ludicrous that's the comparison. And that's still the stigma that's out there. Even now in New Jersey, while the prohibition has been lifted for life insurance, again, they still won't deny you for it, but you're going to pay a higher premium because they're going to consider you a higher risk. Yep. And that's a shame, you know, when this is part of like my normal routine, what keeps me. People say, oh, you got to be high. No, man, it ain't even about getting high. I don't have to be high. Although that's a lovely side effect, but I do like to be me.
I feel that, man. And I think there's a lot of people out there that feel the same way. They feel that when they have the freedom to enjoy themselves the way that they want, they could truly just be themselves around everyone, right, and not just themselves.
And in this world today of inclusion, right, where everybody is promoted to be themselves, stigmas about something like cannabis, that's not hurting anybody, that really needs to go away. You know what I mean? Because it really does create think about it. Even now, if you were somewhere smoking and somebody you didn't know just kind of rolled around, you would immediately feel like, oh, maybe I need to tuck this up or put this down, or do I, what's going on? And it shouldn't be that way, especially here where the prohibition has been lifted. You know what I mean? Obviously, it's going to take some more time because it's still real new.
Yeah, it's still unacceptable as a social norm.
And this is the first hit
of the guava candy.
Guava candy.
That thing smells amazing.
Bro, it's got a sweet aftertaste. It's got some earthy tones, definitely on the indica side. Okay. It's got this almost like a lime zest on the back end. I love this. Nice. This tastes delicious. I don't know. I don't think Tone's going to get any of this one. He'll have to try the other flavor.
I still got some of that Godfather OG.
Man, I don't.
I've been slow baking that thing. I'm like, a little bit here, a little bit there.
I got a little bit of shake left of that one, man. That shit was good.
That thing is great.
And it is push. You hit it hard, it will knock you out like an indica, but it's got a lot of sativa in it. So as long as you fine tune it, my heart was racing, man. My daily grind, I had a little bit I was, I didn't want to go heavy in the morning. And you know me, my standard J is probably 2 grams, right? So one bowl, that's nothing. Man, my heart was fucking beating. I was at work what the fuck?
Like nobody better
I'm like,
call
bro,
me and ask me
I'm like, I
questions
need
right
a
now.
snack. I got to drink some whole milk. I got to bring this down a level, man. It got me. Like, granted, it was the wake and bake, so it always hits you a little bit harder first thing.
So I for sure learned not to rip that as my first wake and bake.
Right.
So I hit up the Skittles first, get right, and then later on in the day I hit up the OG.
See, this is why Tone is the guy in the chair, because he's clearly smarter than me, right? I get Godfather OG in my hands, and it immediately takes me back to my days in Cali. We talked about a few weeks back. Obviously, when I was running the dispensary, I had access to the best OG and the best cushions available in the state. And along with that was a tolerance level that, while my tolerance is high right now, it was through the roof high back then. So here I am, like a fool with this Godfather OG, waking up thinking like, let's go. Because it's taking me back to a better time when I was smoking a lot heavier, and I smoke heavy. I can't smoke like Cali smoke. I can't smoke like that, right? I was younger. I wasn't even 30 yet when I was out there, man. I'm not even going to get into what I am now. A lot older. You know what I mean? Shit.
You never ask a lady her age.
Right. Did he just call me a bitch?
Yes.
I think this dude just called me a bitch. I'm going to need to put y'all on hold for a minute, because the guy in the chair and I have to have a talk. Fucking guy. This fucking guy. You're lucky I like you, Tone. So what you
Gotta
think?
have some comedy relief in there.
Did you taste that little back end?
That shit reminds me of, I would say maybe like some runt a little bit of that runty flavor. But it definitely has that back end zest to it. Like a sweetness too. I can't even put my finger on it. Obviously maybe guava, right? Because it's called guava. But it doesn't taste like guava.
You know what I'm going to do?
It's flavored like guava.
I'm going to do a quick
even
little
know what the hell that
research
means.
while I'm going to pass this J on over to Tone, and I'm going to do a quick research and see what I can find on the interwebs about the guava candy.
Oh yeah.
One more.
The flavor profile is really nice. It's not
Smooth.
It's not harsh. Yeah, it's very smooth. Smells clean. I don't even know if clean is the right word for it, but it smells, when the terps burn, they smell good.
I mean,
There's really no other way to explain it.
Right. I always
like
joke
good
when you smell that.
burn.
Right. I always joke that that's the smell of God's vagina, because
Oh man.
like there is no way for me to describe it other than the most heavenly thing you could possibly fucking smell. Right. And while I know the terps and I know the different, the plants, they burn off differently, and have different scents. For me, most of the scent changes on the raw, the actual flower. Right, so I can smell the different flowers apart, but once we light them on fire, man, all I smell is God's vagina, bro. Mouth watering, and I'm ready to eat. Pardon me. Sorry, ladies.
Pornhub, that's a plug too.
Right, fucking right.
So you trying to burn at gmail.com if you want to send us some money.
What he said. Copy that.
Copy that.
Yeah, this guava candy is something else, bro.
Yeah, it's really good. And usually like a flavored strain, usually like a grape strain, it has that little harsh flavor at the back end, or that harsh burn. This doesn't feel like that. It just has like a nice smooth finish, nice front end smell, and good flavor on the back end.
Right. So you're the second or third person that had mentioned to me that they feel that purples are a little bit harsher. In my experience, purples have always been the smoother. Where I go for my smoothness, as opposed to something that hits a little harsh. But in hindsight, I just think that now, purples, going back to my days in Cali, Purple Urkel, Granddaddy Purple, Grape Ape, Purple Nepal, those were the smoothest and heavy, put your ass to sleep heavy indicas, and that's like my basis. But in retrospect, the newer ones, 2024 purples, and almost all, the kids are calling it Zaza, almost all exotics in 2024 got some purple in it, right? And I think maybe it's attributed to the huge uptick in THC content. If you could think about back when you were smoking Reggie versus somebody broke out some good and that shit had everybody choking because it just was,
better.
Yeah, it was just better, and your lungs weren't prepared for it. So maybe we can attribute it to that. But I'm going to do a little research. I'm going to do a poll. We're going to do a poll. We're going to put that shit up on our YouTube and find out if purples are harsh to y'all or what is the harshest. We're going to find out.
Yeah,
guy in the chair.
That's a good one.
Tone, let the guy in the chair know that we got to put a poll up on the YouTube. I only know the words to say that.
All right. I just sent them a text message.
Thank you, because if you didn't send him a text message, it would just be words on the internet because that's really not my game. But we're gonna take a poll, and somebody, all of y'all, everyone, all 27 of our subscribers, I want you on that poll. All right, we love y'all.
So Blaze, what was one of your favorite parts of doing this podcast this season?
You know what? That's a great question, Tone, because I think about it a lot. Especially now, we started this journey because people ask us questions. We mentioned that, I think, on the first episode. Everywhere I go, the people around me know that I have a pretty vast knowledge and a good perspective and understanding of this plant and the many, 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 many strains that I've encountered over the years. And so people ask me questions. And so one of my favorite things to come out of the podcast is now when people hit me up and ask me questions like, hey, I've got a question about this resin. I'm like, bet the answer is Spotify, You Trying to Burn, Season 1, Episode 7. It's got all your answers. So I keep busting my people's nuts that I know ain't spin the podcast yet. No disrespect. People are busy, and it will gain traction because we're going to remain present to y'all and to us. So don't worry. But I love breaking balls because I know they haven't spun it yet. You know what I mean? So that's one of my favorite things to come out of it. I still answer the question, but pretty soon I'm going to be like, no, for real, go spin that, and you can get the answer. I just talked about it, right?
In detail.
But one of my favorite, sections was, I really enjoyed the Q&A portion. You were digging in my brain with really great questions. Talking about a time that we'll touch on, I'm sure, many times on this podcast, but we'll just touch on it. But being able to really dig in deep to my journey to California and back, and that really took me down memory lane, and it really was, really made it even more fun, just to kind of kick it and talk about those things. So that was a great interview, turned out to be. It really was one of my favorite. But to come from that, the special guests that we have coming up, these are members of my past that were part of that journey in California that have since reached out, and we've reconnected because, you get older and time passes and things happen. And next thing you know, it's been 5 years since you've seen one of your best friends. That's another good thing to come from our podcast, is that I've gotten to reconnect with some friends that are doing big things in the cannabis culture industry. There are two different friends of mine have agreed to come onto the show. And like I said earlier, after we build it up a little bit further, we're going to unleash the real nonsense. Because here's the thing, I can't filter what these guys say. I can only give you my version from my perspective, and I'm sure there's some juice that's going to come from these guys. So definitely stay tapping in with us and look for season 2 on the back 9, on the back of the half of that season for sure. But please stay locked in because you never know. You never know when it could drop. That's really where I'm at. That was some of my favorite portion of the season. But we've been just chopping it up about everything, from hip hop to movies to our Audible experience, which, we can dig into that a little bit more too, Tone, because I am literally in too deep. I'm in too deep, man. You introduced me to a narrator, not an author, not a genre, a narrator. And this guy is the truth. And
what's his name?
Phil
Thrawn?
No.
Travis Baldry?
I think it's Robert.
R.C. Bray?
Nope. I'm going to look it up right now. It's just because of that guava candy why I can't remember. He did The Martian.
Oh, yeah. Dude, that dude is awesome.
Gosh,
I can't remember his name.
Ray Porter.
Oh, Ray. Yo.
Shout out Ray Porter, man. I hope that one day You Trying to Burn podcast comes across your whatever platform you listen on or whatever. And shout out, man. You have literally driven my brain to new genres of books that I typically would never even go to. a movie maybe, but for me to read books that are political thrillers or military based thrillers, it's not my thing. But following this narrator has led me to open my eyes, and that's personal growth, man. Anytime you can step out of whatever your norm is, your comfort zone, you know me, Tone. I want some multi-dimension sci-fi bullshit that takes me off Earth, right? But this guy Ray Porter, he's the truth, man. Shout out Ray Porter, man.
For real.
Keep giving me, keep switching up the genre that you like to narrate, because you're gonna keep filling me with new choices, and I appreciate that.
So I discovered Phil Thrawn like that.
Okay.
And Phil Thrawn is the guy who does Monsters and Legends.
Right.
And you don't like lit RPGs.
Right.
But because of him, I love lit RPGs, man.
Hey, listen, you're batting 1,000 on narrators, so I'll take that narrators and click his name and see if there's anything else. If I find one, I'm going to try it. Ray Porter did the Hail Mary Project.
Yep.
Right, that's down my alley.
And he did Earthcore for Scott Sigler.
Science fiction, that's my thing. I like it where it's not real, but it's very plausible or close to our technology. 20 years we're doing. So I like that type of genre or science fiction, so to speak. And that Hail Mary Project, man, that took me off the planet for sure, but never on a journey that I was expecting. And literally at one point had me choked up, tears in my eyes, for a fictional character on a fake planet. And I'm like, this fucking guy knows what he's doing.
Yo, he knows what he's doing, man.
So,
and that's...
Shout out to Tone for the narrator suggestion.
I think before I had mentioned that when a good story and the right narrator come together,
man,
that's it, man. That's it. When they really, I'm going to go into these characters and really perform, man, that story just really comes to life.
That's where I'm at right now, man, with the Terminal List series.
Yo, that's my shit right there. Jack Carr?
Yeah, Jack Carr.
Yeah.
Your narrator is the one who introduced me to Jack Carr, and now James Reese is like my fucking
Reese
guy.
Is a beast,
I'm like, this dude is a savage. I'm like, oh.
Yo, no joke.
I'm like,
you gotta watch
up.
the series on Prime.
So I already started.
All right.
All right, but I'm gonna watch it. I want to watch it with my lady.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, it's a good.
She likes to fall asleep 38 seconds into anything on the TV, so I can only watch it in 38-second pieces. So each episode takes like a year. But I love her, so it's cool. We'll work it out.
Well, I wish you luck on that journey.
Thanks.
Yep, because I'm going through a couple of series like that too.
Right. Yep. I've given up on movies, but that's okay.
It takes time.
It's okay because I love her. I don't mind watching movies. I'm one of those dudes that can watch the same movie 100 times.
Me too, man.
Right? And since it takes 100 times for her to watch it once, it's match made in heaven, bro. You know what I mean? Shout out to Babes. I love you.
Yep. It's like that movie.
This is my shout out episode
with
apparently.
Adam Sandler. What's it called? Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore.
50 First Dates. Man, that's a fucking classic,
that's a
bro.
Classic right there.
She beats his ass on
Adam
more
Sandler,
than one
man.
occasion in that movie, and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Bro. And she beat the shit out of, what's his name? Schneider. I can't remember. He's in all the Adam Sandler movies.
You Can Do It?
Yes. His last name is Schneider. I can't remember his first name because I'm baked. You know what, Tone? So I feel like we're going to wrap up this episode and we're going to wrap up this season. We want to give a special thanks to every single one of you that tapped in and the people that in our personal worlds that support us on this journey and everybody that is trying to burn with us. We appreciate it. Tone, give a shout out all of our socials and, how people could reach out to us, and then shoot it back over to me after that.
So everyone, you could reach us at youtryingtoburn@gmail.com. That's going to be the fastest way for you to get in contact with us. And you can also keep up with us on our socials, on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram. And we're going to be real active during this whole time when we're off during the season. So, hit us up there. Add us when you got your funny pictures or you burning up and you want to get on a cipher. We always down to smoke with y'all and chill with y'all. This is a lot of fun, and we look forward to hanging out with y'all and tapping in with you too.
Anybody that you want to, any special thanks, Tone? Anybody that you want to shout out? Just the listeners
I want to
involved.
shout out the wife for much patience with me.
I agree with that. I want to shout out your wife too, old friend of mine. I don't get to see since we became boys. You know, that's a trade-off. I'm cool with it. But shout her out because she definitely stepped up. And I want to shout out my lady again as well because the patience, man, because it's not easy to sacrifice time, and especially when it's, for a new journey, right? So definitely props to the ladies in our lives that been there for us. Sorry for all the uhs and ums, people, but I love y'all. For real though, now that you have all of our socials, like Tone mentioned, we're gonna be off in between seasons here for probably just a few weeks, but just keep locked in, keep ring the bell so that you get those notifications. But we will be heavily active on our socials. So when you see us popping up in your timeline, please click those likes and click those shares. Let all your people that you know are trying to burn, let them know what's up. Let them laugh with you. Let them burn with us.
We love y'all.
Peace.